Big developments overnight as Mitch McConnell introduces exactly what this channel had been urging for: a proposal of stimulus in the CR. It's incredible great news because finally stimulus in the CR is front page news. We had urged stimulus in the continuing resolution, the budget bill, because it has a deadline. It's not something you can sort of ignore as your stimulus has been ignored over months. The deadline is December 11th. And late last night, Mitch McConnell introduced a draft, only a draft, about what he proposes to have. He also met with the president, and the president is giving field and suggestions yesterday and today about what he wants in there. And we're going to give suggestions as well, because as the Purple Power, we got Mitch McConnell to put stimulus in the CR in a day in which he was being urged by other Republicans not to do it. We're pushing, we're getting incredible progress. I'm so excited. Let's keep on pushing though, because this needs some revising. And this is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LA. It's a 6 a.m. edition. I hope you're glad you joined me. There's just so much going on today. And boy, if you joined me for Purple Power Live last night, I went 40 minutes long because there was so much news breaking. So in this recording and the one right after this, the 6:30 edition, which comes right after this one, did I say it comes right after this one? I will be breaking down what happened yesterday because it's a hot mess express. And ultimately, it's very confusing to a lot of people. And ultimately, some people may not understand what's going on. It took me a while to go through some of the details, and so I'll be breaking it down very basic for you, but I'll also be getting you money right now. If you're not aware of what I'm doing, this channel is now getting over $300,000 for viewers right now money. This is grants, this is rent, this is utilities, this is escalated benefits, and it's EIDL. And yesterday, no less than 12 new viewers got incredible grants, and last night's Purple Power Live was literally like a microcosm of people helping each other. Because someone said in Mississippi, I can't find anything in Mississippi, and someone had something in Mississippi. Someone said, I can't find anything in New York, and someone said, I found something for you in New York. It was literally just like that. And of course, someone said, I can't find anything in LA, and I had something for them in LA. So across the board, there's incredible progress, and I want you to get this money right now. And I'm getting viewers money right now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, not 5 years from now, but money right now, thousands of dollars. I'll be going over that later in this video, so please subscribe. Please subscribe, because I'm fighting for you to get this money, and the incredible 9 volunteers of this channel are working around the clock to get you this money as well. So please subscribe. Also like this video. It really helps for the video to appear higher in the rankings. In this video, I'll be going over what happened yesterday, what will be happening today, and then I'll be getting to the CARES Act 1 grants. And if you notice over there's a live chat. It's an instant premiere because the toast is toasting. Did I not say that? I forgot to say that. The toast is toasting. The butter's buttering. I'm here, you're here, and they're chatting over there. There's an instant premiere. As an instant premiere, you can interact with each other, and certainly drop the most obvious questions. Can you find something in the state for me? I can't find the thing in the state. And ultimately, you may see some of the volunteers in the live chat, and those volunteers may be there to answer your questions. Also, it's a great way to start your new day. With the same familiar faces, a lot of love, a lot of support. The Purple Power community is all about that and more. So thank you for being part of this morning broadcast, and join me in 30 minutes at the 6:30 edition. With that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is really this thing. This thing, what is this thing? Well, it's Mitch McConnell's memo. It's a memo. It's not a bill. It's not a draft of a bill. It's a memo. Needless to say, I expect fully in every single video of every single day for the next 3 days that people are going to say, Mitch wrote a bill. He didn't write a bill, he wrote a memo. And it's not even a finalized memo. It's a draft of a memo. And it proposes what he thinks are potential ideas of what should be in the CR. The incredible great news as we sit here today is that we won in getting stimulus in the CR. That's an enormous accomplishment for the Purple Power. The day started yesterday by a series of no less than 3 bills in which congressional leaders wanted standalone stimulus bills to be introduced. I said this is big trouble. You know why? Because the standalone bills were junk, first of all. They were just junk bills. And second of all, there's no timeline. No one's rushing to do a stimulus bill during the holidays lame duck session. The CR is different. It has a deadline. The deadline is under the law. The deadline is December 11th. They have to do a CR. Otherwise, the federal government shuts down on December 11th. There is no way around that deadline. And I had said on Sunday, let's urge Mitch McConnell with CR for stimulus. Hashtag CR for stimulus. Urge Mitch to get stimulus in the CR. Well, yesterday we won. Mitch McConnell said, you know what? I saw those 3 horrible bills. We're not doing that. It's a waste of my time. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to put it for a vote. We're not dealing with that stuff. We're dealing with stimulus in the CR. And we're going to do it as one item, and we're going to get it done right now. Incredible. An incredible moment. It started really good and continued even better. He said he had been to the White House and he had met with the president and he had asked the president what the president wants in the bill and that the president had a lot of suggestions, but that the president was still thinking about it. So the president had still not made a determination about what he wants in the bill. This is President Donald Trump, who has said every single month since the month of June that he wants you to have a big stimulus check, a more generous stimulus check, more than Nancy Pelosi wants to give you, and yet has still never given you that stimulus check. So what did the president say to Mitch? Mitch didn't tell us. But Mitch said the president's still working on what he wants in the stimulus bill. Okay. Or the CR. Okay. So then Mitch said, ultimately, the most important thing is what the president wants, because he's the one who signs the bill. The continuing resolution, this budget bill, stands for CR, has to be done by December 11th and voted upon and approved by the Senate, voted and approved upon by the House, and signed by the president. If one of those things don't exist, it doesn't become law, and the federal government shuts down. It's as simple as that. Nancy Pelosi doesn't get her check if you don't get your check. Well, the day ended with Mitch McConnell quietly releasing to colleagues in the Senate the following memo to ask them what they think of his memo. What do you think of my memo? Now, quickly, before the memo even barely was out for 10 seconds, a flurry of people on social media and the channels and everywhere saying, Mitch has introduced his bill. His bill's out. His bill's out. He's introduced the bill. The bill's up for a vote. The bill. It's not a bill. It's a memo. It's not a bill. It's a memo. So we got that. We got that. All right. So now when we turn the memo, what about the memo? The memo's a hot mess. Yeah. Okay. So we're back again. The memo is a hot mess. Now, it does have some things that are good. And ultimately, it's a working document and it needs to be worked on a lot. So Purple Power, this is what you got to do. You got to tweet McConnell. You got to tweet his press secretary, who has only, he has less followers than Nancy Pelosi's hairstylist. And you have to tweet McConnell's communications director and say, hey, stimulus checks in the CR. Stimulus checks in the CR. Oh, and by the way, stimulus checks in the CR. Make it very loud and clear. I mean, that's the most important thing. Now, what is not in this bill? Some of the things that absolutely have to be in this bill are not in this bill. An eviction moratorium has to be in this bill. It expires in December. So according to this, the memo, I'm doing it. It's not a bill, it's a memo. What is not in this memo? An eviction moratorium. So you could be evicted on January 1st in the thick of the winter, unless you have protection locally from your state or city, because there's no extension of the federal eviction moratorium. Second, there's no extension of the federal mortgage forbearance. So you can be foreclosed upon on January 1st. Not good, Mitch. Put those in there. It doesn't cost you anything to put in there. So what is in there? The two most singularly, categorically helpful things that are in here is the extension of UI and the extension of PUA for 1 month. PUA expires in December. And FPUC, which is those additional weeks of UI on the federal government created in March, expires also in December. If they expire, your eligibility term is over. Your eligibility term is over and you have lost out on getting any more weeks. So the extension of benefits is very important because otherwise your eligibility window has shut closed. That you would have exhausted your eligibility weeks and you could not get any more weeks. This bill proposes to give you one more month of PUA and one more month of UI to extend them. Now, that's not the only months. It's just an extension for now. 4 more weeks. So 4 more weeks of UI and 4 more weeks of PUA. It does not have FPUC in there. So I don't think it's unusual that it doesn't have FPUC. In fact, I think it's sort of hard. I think it's hard to put FPUC in the document because FPUC would have to be retroactive. Otherwise, they would be messing up FPUC. Let's say we put FPUC in there for 1 week. Well, how about FPUC retroactive? Well, we already gave you FPUC, so we're not going to do it retroactive. You don't want them to mess up FPUC. And also, if you did FPUC retroactive all the way to July, that costs a fortune. You can't slide that into CR. It's just too expensive. So then FPUC is not in there. I think it makes sense not to have FPUC in there, even though millions of Americans need FPUC, because unless you want to dedicate a lot more money, which I don't think these people do, there's no room to get FPUC in a document. You can do FPUC, in the first week of January, second week of January. Now, what absolutely has to be in this document is a stimulus check. I mean, it's just insane. The stimulus check is the fastest document that you can physically receive of any stimulus package. It lands in your bank account within 10 days. Nothing gets there faster. That's why economists call for a stimulus check during the holidays. They wrote Mitch no less than a week ago, said send out stimulus checks, and that's what you, Purple Power, need to be on social media with his press secretary and communications director saying stimulus check in the CR. Viewers asked me last night on Purple Power, why does Mitch not want to put a stimulus check in here? And what is his human aversion to a stimulus check? It is now the 5th time this man has suggested there's going to be a stimulus check in a draft or a memo or a proposal or a talking point, and it's not in there. What is his human aversion to a stimulus check? I don't know. I don't want to get too hot and heavy on early morning's broadcast. I know it's the early part of the day. But viewers are just a little perplexed about it, and I am too. Now, what he does have in here, there is some stuff in here that doesn't belong in here. Yeah, so someone lobbied again and got stimulus in here. Guess who? Oh, God, Sirloin. Sirloin got his stimulus again. Stimulus. He's giving again $20 billion to the farms and the cows. I don't know what the Sirloin does, but Lord. I can't even say it. Lord. Sirloin got another $20 billion put in here for the farmers and the cows. The last CR had stimulus in there for the farmers and the cows. But this time, Shamu is lucky as well, or Nemo, because Nemo won't have to be looking for a stimulus check. It's in here. He's giving $500 million to fishers and fisheries and fishermen and Fisher Price? No. But he is giving money to the children as well. Not to go hungry, but children, just children. So why is there $21 billion to fish and cows again? I don't know. Needless to say, the airlines are going to be really pissed because there's no money in there for them. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just, the airlines have done everything they can to lobby Mitch and the Republicans to get stimulus. And every single time they fly out every executive to Washington to get something in the bill, no one puts them in a bill. I don't know what they have against those airlines, but the fishermen and maybe they should take cues from Sirloin and the fish, because they clearly the Congress clearly swims with the fish. So with that, now the big question is, how about your CARES Act 1 grants? Let me go over a little bit about that. I'll have more on the video right after this. The CARES Act 1 grants, you need to get this money right now. It's your city and county and state. And viewers yesterday, no less than 12 new viewers got big grants. EIDL, and escalated benefits. CARES Act 1, city, county, and state. And ultimately, what I want you to understand is that on Purple Power Live every night, which you really have to tune into, viewers are now coming forward with places that they found grants that we did not know. And the volunteers are in the chat, and they're hearing it, and they're taking notes. We heard last night rental grants in Mississippi, rental grants in New York, rental grants in Alabama, rental grants in Kentucky, that you may go to your city, county, and state, and they're not publicly listed, but these are in divisions of the city and county, which I don't normally think about. For example, in New York, it's a Department of Housing that's separate, but it is the Department of Housing that's doing rent grants. So what's important to understand is that there is money out there. And then there's a money being announced. Houston's announcing a big stimulus package today for citizens. There's one out there for New Mexico. There was one announced yesterday for Colorado. Ultimately, get this money. The money's there, and it's money for you to get. If you're having problems finding the grants, go to the community channel or community page of this channel and find one of the volunteers. There are 9 of them that are absolutely incredible. Next, escalated benefits, and finally EIDL. 5 viewers got EIDL yesterday, and some of them were anywhere from $5,000 to $35,000, and viewers got them in less than 2-3 days. If your show's processing, call SBA, talk to Tier 2, and ask them why you're still processing. Coming up in a few minutes from now is the 6:30 edition. Don't miss that as well. As always, go to the front of the channel, subscribe, and also like this video. Stay informed, stay focused, stay smiling, and have a great morning, and see you a few minutes from now on the continuation of Early Mornings LALATE.